There's one key aspect to graphic design that I personally mastered pretty late in my career, but when I did, things really started to take off and escalate for me as a graphic designer. If you follow along today and grasp today's concepts, you will surely be able to elevate your graphic designs, your career, your client, and your workflow to that new level. Airbnb launched in 2008, and it's an online marketplace for people to list their property for people to book and rent. Initially, they had a logo that was made up of the font Bello, and this was actually created by one of the co-founders of Airbnb. So right off the bat, what does this logo say and how does it come across to you, the viewer? It's friendly and fun with that calligraphy kind of style or open style lettering. However, this kind of lacks a personality or uniqueness. It's just another calligraphy style font, and so this isn't too memorable. This kind of logo could easily be lost on many consumers. However, the curvy and soft lettering style could communicate comfort to the end user, and that's pretty ideal for the niche sector of renting out properties for, sleeping and bread and breakfast. The business did do really well with this logo for 6 years, but it was time for a rebrand. Now, it can be said that Airbnb wanted a vision and an entirely new concept rather than just a rebrand. They really needed to level up and become a more of a firm presence in the minds of society at large. And to achieve this, Airbnb enlisted the branding agency Design Studio. So first, Design Studio addressed the logotype, and they chose a decent sans serif adaptation of the font Brown. And so this style of font will create a more serious and a more professional presence in the minds and the eyes of the end consumer, as opposed to that playful, non-serious calligraphy style font. However, it's not too serious because it's not exactly a serif font, is it? So let's move on to the icon itself, and this is an abstraction of 4 principles according to Airbnb: people, places, love, and of course Airbnb, and they've all blended into a single A shape. Now these words, the people, places, love, and so on, play into that vision and that concept that they wanted to convey to people, and it communicates that renting a property from a single person for a few days is more personal than, say, a stay in a hotel or something like that. It also pays a homage to the original round and soft style of the logo previously, and this is seen in the curves. So you can see how shape psychology relates here, because round and curved shapes do communicate love and togetherness and all that kind of stuff. So now the logo has an icon, and this is very, very crucial to make sure the logo, or the brand for that matter, was solidified in the minds of the people, and it will elevate them to that next level. That symbol is going to be imprinted in the minds of the people the world over, and it's notorious on things like apps and smart devices, which I'm sure you've probably seen somewhere along the lines. So where has that colour red come into play, you might ask? Well, to quote the company itself, it is a colour that delivers the emotion and passion based around the brand without the aggression of pure red. The red, however, is meant to be a secondary palette with colours and names drawn from countries the world over. And this makes it more unique and more personal to each individual and their journey around the world. So in the first example, you can see how the design studio took the problem that Airbnb had, and then they evaluated the problem, everything surrounding that brand, and then gave a design solution that was really successful. It's all about understanding that fundamental problem and then delivering value to your client with a graphic design solution. And so let's go on to the second demonstration today, again by Design Studio. So let's look at another example, but this time let's break it down even more simply so you really grasp the concept here. So in England, there is something known as the Football Premier League, or if you're an American, it's probably called soccer. But anyway, over the decades, this logo has more or less stayed the same pretty much, with its embodied lion, the football logotype, colour schemes are the same as well, and it has just kept the same standard. So what's the problem here, and where's the fire? The Premier League always uses a sponsor within their logo, an example being the Barclays Bank. But after separating from Barclays in 2015, it was time to become their own brand that stands alone for the first time. So in the words of the spokesman, it was time to rebrand and to stand alone and to modernize in line with the current times. It was important to streamline the logo so it was relevant and optimized on smart devices, and this is something that so many brands are doing these days. And this is one reason why I tell you guys that your logo should be simple to optimize onto smart devices. Logo simplification is more important than it ever has been in this current time. So what was done about this problem? Ask yourself, what would you do as a graphic designer to accomplish this problem? So we actually see Design Studio back again for round 2, and they were commissioned to rebrand the Premier League. So they firstly addressed the logo symbol, and the lion motif was evolved into a modern graphic mark that scaled properly and which looked incredible among its competitors within the sports sector and beyond. Design Studio presented the league with a wide-ranging kits of parts, so to speak, that can be adapted for different purposes. This essentially is just different forms of the same logo. These include versions of the logo in different sizes, more or less text, as well as different layouts and backgrounds and colour patterns. So the logo type also has been more modernized with a sleek sans serif font as opposed to that outdated italic logo type we saw before. This helps in the effort to bring this brand into the new era, and I think it was achieved really well. And so I hope you really can see the power of knowing the problem that a client has and how you can work a design around to the solution. This is adding value, and this is what it means to be a graphic designer. Of course, if you want to learn more techniques about graphic design, maybe Illustrator or just in general, do click one of the videos on screen and also subscribe to my channel for weekly graphic design content. But of course, until next time guys, design your future today. Peace.